Back in Blood is the ultimate 69 Eyes album in many ways. We worked for the songs over a year. We wrote so many songs, and now the songs that are going to be on the album were picked up by Matt Hyde, and Matt is getting the band the most tightest ever.
I'm Matt Hyde. I'm producing the 69 Eyes. I've been making records in one capacity or another for about 20 years. I've worked with Cypress Hill, I've worked with Porno for Pyros, I've worked with Slayer, I've worked with No Doubt, Monster Magnet.
Matt Hyde came to the picture like we knew after Angels already that we want to go in way more raw direction, like more rock, less keyboards, like more appetite for destruction, less Chinese democracy kind of a thing.
It helps Matt being a guitar player, so we have really cool guitar sounds, and but that requires more work from me and Timo, because we don't have only 3 or 4 songs where we have keyboards, so we replace the keyboards with the guitar.
I really like the style and the chance to get some different sounds than I normally get, and work on some things I normally don't get to work on.
This is like a record we've been planning like 20 years. I think, many ways, we've done albums like Blessed Be, which was like big deal. That was like the ultimate goth and roll album. And then we did like Devils, which was like something new again. So Back in Blood is going to turn completely a new page, start a new chapter for the 69 Eyes.
What if I cannot hold on?
The first lesson we learned from Matt Hyde was like he wants to do the ultimate 69 Eyes album.
I only knew what I knew from their press and from reading their liner notes of their records, and I talked to Posse a few times on the phone, and I talked to Jyrki. I felt a lot, after I talked to Jyrki on the phone, I felt a lot better. But I was afraid when before that, who the hell are these guys? Do they really believe they're vampires? Are they going to be these like crazy, dark, scary, gothic guys? But actually, in meeting them, I found them to be like really, really cool guys. Like, I just felt they were very, very welcoming. It was we seemed to get down to work like immediately. I had to show up, and in 10 days we had to go through 14 songs, record them, demo them, rearrange them, and do all this work. It was a tremendous amount of stuff to have to do in that amount of time. But not only were we able to do that, but we were able to have a lot of fun, and it felt like I knew them already. It's like I walked in the first day and we did a ton of work right away. They were very open to my suggestions. They were very, very organized. They were really, really fun to work with. Really, really nice people. So almost immediately I felt very comfortable and at home with them. They just felt like really cool guys. And just the kind of guys that I want to work with, and it's only gotten better from there since they've come out here. I've had a great time.
We've been working with Johnny Lee Michaels nearly 10 years by now, so it was like healthy to have something else and someone else on board.
Johnny Lee Michaels is still the 6th vampire, really. I mean, he's always with us. That guy is a genius, and he's still, like I said, he's still one of us. He's the 6th vampire, and we definitely are going to work with him in the future. Yeah.
We could always start working on nearly the same record over and over again with Johnny Lee Michaels. So, I mean, we needed fresh air, fresh blood.
We really wanted to change all the parts from the machine to reinvent things and to make things fresh again. So that's pretty much the reason, and hopefully people understand that there's nothing that we didn't like what we did in the past with Johnny and everybody, but we just needed to get some new fresh blood and new fresh ideas. Needed to move on a little bit.
I think it was also healthy to get out from Helsinki for a while to here to do everything. So I mean, I think you can hear all this, you know, all this LA vibe on the album as well. Hollywood is the place that some major part of the inspiration, like rock and roll kind of inspiration for the 69 Eyes has been coming out of.
Well, if you play rock and roll, this is the place to play, you know. Best place. Hollywood, LA.
So there has to be some intensity on the record, and I think this is the perfect place for it to get that all excitement down on the tape.
You know, like all the 80s Sunset Strip glam rock scene, of course, inspired us a lot.
I always knew that someday we're gonna make a record in Hollywood, but actually I didn't expect it takes so long time. But anyway, here we are now in the Sunset Boulevard in LA.
I'm not here only doing the recording. I just, for instance, went to this Fangoria 30th anniversary horror convention, and it was pretty cool. I even actually ran out into Corey Haim there. Like you guys might know, we did this song Lost Boys, so it was pretty cool. So I mean, you know, it's a fantastic place to do records and fantastic place to do anything entertainment business related things. But it's also good to get out of here. I'm happy to go back to Helsinki as well. You know, Helsinki, Hollywood, that's like also the theme for this album. We've been working for this in Helsinki and Hollywood, and you can hear that. I think it's a time for the vampire, and this is a record for it, and it's time for the vampires, Helsinki vampires, and now there's a big, very nice vampire leading us. So we all are hooked in blood. There's only one Matt Hyde. He's a tough producer.
Da 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 da.
That's all.
And then stop there so there's not a big clunk when you go to the octave.
But I'm glad. I'm super glad. I'm stoked. I can't believe that we are doing this record with the legendary Matt Hyde.
He's got a golden ear, so he can hear all the little out of tunings there.
It's gonna be fun to recut.
This is like 3-part harmony that we played there.
Cool.
That kind of stuff. So I have to redo those parts again.
That's out of 10. That's a 10. There's no... Bossy!
But that's part of doing the album, so it's gonna turn out great anyway. So if this is the price to do, I will do it.
Matt Hyde is very determined. Sometimes I feel like even unnecessarily evil, but he knows what he wants and he will get it from me way or another.
And, 2 hours of me busting his balls because he's actually a really good guitar player. This sausage finger thing though is incredible.
This is like the ultimate 69 Eyes album. I can't believe like how good it is. It's not been an easy thing to do. Like I said earlier, our drummer says this has been like a rock and roll fantasy camp in a way or another doing this record. Sometimes, you know, especially when I'm in that singing booth, it feels like a rock and roll concentration camp as well.
Here we are at the Sunset Lodge, and next we're gonna see our guitar setup, which is quite massive. So follow us. Here are our amps heads. So you can see there is about 10 of different amps. All switched together so we can switch them on the fly. And There's 4 cabinets, oh my god. So everything is easy to just through the switch to change the sound and get what we want. And here is also, you can see like a couple of combos all marked up. So that was the main thing on this album, to get it more like guitar oriented stuff, not so much keyboards.
These guys have made some really well produced records, but they've generally had like a lot of keyboards and a lot of like really certain types of production values that I normally don't get into. And I thought it would be great to have a chance to try to do something that was a little bit more stripped down and more guitar oriented like the band was. When you go see them, they don't have a keyboard player, but there's 10,000 keyboards on the record and strings and all kinds of crazy shit and tons of background. So I wanted to try to do more with the band itself and add less from the outside.
So you can see here's the full box of pedals. We are gonna use them all, maybe. Lots of guitars, as you can see, we have tons of guitars there. Up there still what we can use, and you know, this is a guitar heaven, the whole studio. So this is gonna be a guitar album, really great one.
In blood. In blood.
Like Matt says, everything is awesome except out of tune. And for a perfect guitar sound, we need 17 amps at least.
The album is called Back in Blood, and that's no coincidence. Majority of the songs are actually seriously inspired by vampire movies.
I'd say that we always had that vibe, and we always had a song or two with some vampire-ish lyrics that could fit any vampire movie soundtrack.
Of course, I started writing something which is like purposely refers to some movies. For instance, there's a song called Hunger, which is of course refers to that David Bowie great vampire movie.
I would love to leave that to Jyrki, and I'm sure he's happy to talk about the movie things, because he's the guy when it comes to lyrics, and he watches so many horror and vampire movies that I don't know where the hell he finds the time, but well, he's a vampire, so he doesn't sleep.
Suspiria, Snow White. We were watching Suspiria during that.
Last couple of years we've been touring so much that when you're on tour you become a vampire, so it's a natural progression. You know, this album is blood-dripping lyrics, and you know, it was time for that.
All of a sudden during the writing process, I just noticed that there's this and this song is like all of a sudden like a vampire story, and they just started, coming up.
We are vampires, so we stay young. Yeah.
Elvis is always around, even in this studio where I record my vocals. It's all about Elvis when it comes to rock and roll. And but on the other hand, during these vocal sessions, we've been watching movies. Each night we watch about like 3 movies. So like the other night we just watched these classic Christopher Lee Dracula movies. So I think for Back in Blood, it's like both.
I would say that Elvis has always been our main thing. Elvis started rock and roll, so we follow his footsteps. So definitely it's Elvis, always, and will be.
Well, it must be Dracula, because this album needs more blood.
This album is influenced by Elvis and Dracula. Yeah.
That's a funny question, Elvis or Dracula, but I'd say Elvis wins. Jyrki, our singer Jyrki, is a proud holder of Elvis fan club membership card it's in his wallet to this day, and it's been there for all these years.
It's 50-50 for Elvis and Dracula on this record.
Halfway through recording the new album here in Sunset Lodge, LA, Hollywood.
Of the darkness open wide, she'll feel the bite.
One of my favorites, Dead Girls Are Easy, is kind of my tribute to Tommy Lee, my tribute to Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood.
She's gone to the other side.
For me as a drummer, it's great to work with Matt because he's like totally into songs driven by the drums. But anyway, this is where I come back to. I'll be at Golden Awards April 7th. Let's try to hook up then. More cowbell. Hell yeah, I'm in. Thanks. Keep kicking ass. 69 Ice rules. Winnie Paul. So that gives me all the energy in the world, all the energy I need, and it seems like we're gonna have some cool fucking cowbell on the record. I hate the word success, kind of, because I hate to analyze that thing, but in my head, success means nothing more that I have a tech nowadays, so I don't need to carry my kit from the van to the venue, and I don't need to put it up and put it down after the show, and that's success to me personally. I mean, that was my rock and roll, ultimate rock and roll dream for me, was to have drum endorsement and somebody to put my kit up. So I'm living the dream, baby.
Well, the 69 I started like in 1989 to be precise, and we started to play some dirty rock and roll in the Piston King cellar in the most seediest place in Helsinki called Kallio. First we were playing cover tunes like Alice Cooper, Dead Boys, Iggy and the Stooges, MC5, you know, things like that, and then we started to write our own songs.
Say 17 years ago we toured in a van in Helsinki, from Helsinki to the city next from Helsinki.
We released few records, a bunch of like 7-inch vinyl singles, EPs and stuff like that, and our reputation started to spread.
And now the flights are getting longer and our crews are getting bigger.
First we wanted to be, like when we started, we wanted to be the coolest band and the loudest band in Helsinki.
In our heads, we were way bigger 20 years ago because we were thinking like you were thinking when you are like 16, 17. Then you should think like, dude, we're the biggest deal on earth.
We don't have any doubt about it, you know, that we are playing still about 30 years or something.
We just wanted to be the coolest rock and roll band in the world. Not to be any modest saying that, but you know, just like it's been going on 20 years and we always, you know, have way or another fulfilled our dreams.
If Angel is a party album, this is a party album and a soundtrack to kick holes into the walls.
So half of the album is the same way that we have done before, and half of it is more like hard rocking stuff.
This is the energy we have on the fast songs. It's like punched straight into your face. And even though I'm sitting here under the Hollywood sun, it's still definitely a nighttime album. It's like should be listened to after sunset.
Our A&R guy was here, and I asked like, what do you think about this record? Because he heard like the music before I came here, and he said like, yeah man, that sounds like Appetite for Destruction. And I mean, I tell you no lies, Matt got this ultimate energy, tightness, and all that thing of the 69 Eyes on the music.
There's some bands like AC/DC, I mean, they shouldn't change a thing. I mean, why fix it? But I like to keep things exciting, new and fresh. So yes, there is going to be surprises because of there's going to be faster, more aggressive, more into your face kind of rock songs on the album. So the surprise is going to be a good one.
I think like in the halfway between these 20 years, we came up with something that turned out to be truly original and which is now known as the 69 Eyes sound.
We still like to think that what we do is something original, something that we're not copying anybody. We have so many influences and you can hear everything we're in love with. You can hear everything from vampire movies to Elvis to Motley Crue to whatever, but I still claim to say that we're not copying anybody. So I think we have original sound and it's not no bandwagons. We're like,
I would say we started Cars and Roll and that's the difference between Cars Metal and Cars and Rock and Roll, because I think we are more like in this album more into the rock than goth, but it's a perfect balance. Half of the album is really gothic and more gothic than last album, but the other half is more rock. So that's the balance. That's the perfect Cars and Roll album. This like half is gothic and half is rock.
We invented the whole thing and we have balls to change whatever we came up with. And by the way, I'm way more sexy than any of these little boys out there.
Some may call that sound goth and roll, but I mean, it's all the 69 Eyes.
Dude, what's up? What's up? Come on in. Let me introduce some people. This guy here, Todd, Junker Designs, coming up with the crazy shit, wearing even crazier, the coolest hoodie I've ever seen in my life. This guy, he plays guitar in a pretty cool band. What's your name?
I'm Daisy again.
Have you met this guy?
We are doing the new 69 Eyes album and we're supposed to do the photo shoot, so
Vill du prata som
prata svenska?
Yeah.
We speak English, but yeah, this is our... Vi är på Villekulla just nu. Villekulla in Los Angeles.
He's trying to make us pretty. He's trying to make us look cool, and our guy, he's taking care of the mess. Forgive me. But
I guess we're doing this really rock and roll this time in an apartment, shoot on the rooftop, all undercover, sneaky shit. We got to get some of Hollywood and Los Angeles on film, so this is the best way to do it.
Top of the world, over the Hollywood hills. You can see the whole LA as our background. That's something like we've probably, been dreaming all of our lives. So it's like the coolest photo shoot ever. LA, Hollywood. It's just like we have a lot of friends here. We have like a strong fan base here. If we go out, people recognize us, and it's always fun to meet our friends.
We're not here to relax. I mean, we're here to make a killer rock record, and this is exactly what we're doing here. And lucky me, I'm the first one to be done in the studio, so I do get my party time here.
It's been actually really good to be away from Finland, to be concentrated on the same place and really concentrate on the work, and so it's been really cool.
First time ever in LA that I haven't really been partying at all, haven't seen anybody, haven't met anybody, haven't been anywhere but this room, and trying to get sleep with all my jet lag.
I haven't seen much of LA, but the vibe is anyway cool. It's not dark and cold as in Finland at this time, but I don't mind it. It doesn't actually matter where you record, but when you are here away from your normal life, it's easier to concentrate on the work. So
all my friends keeps calling me like non-stop, like, dude, let's hang out, let's go party, let's go have dinner. I can't. I have to kill this record first, but I'm pretty much done, so I can't wait. I can't wait, and Hollywood Vampires, here I come.
Ever since we started the band, we knew that there's something special going on, and there was some magical chemistry between us five. We never had any business plan for the 69 Eyes. We are doing this with a big heart for our love for rock and roll. So I guess that's the reason that we are still going on. We are purely fulfilling our dreams.
20 years on, I'm totally stoked about recording here on Sunset, and I'm thinking like a little kid in the candy store, like I got my new Pearl kit here, and I'm stoked as I would have been when I was 13.
I guess one of the biggest dreams, has been that one day we could do this kind of record here in America, in the country where rock and roll and Elvis is from. So, well, I'm glad it happened. It took a while to finally end up here doing the album, but this is like a magical. This is the best days of my life. These are the best times of my life.
We love what we do, and we love to create, and we want to make better songs, sound better, play better, maybe pose better. It's all about posing in this band, but we love what we do, and that's the secret of keeping things fresh.